Okay, so having looked at the pump aspect on a pump track designed for carrying speed really nicely and smooth transitions, fairly uniform, we're out on it is a purpose-built trail, so the pumps are crafted a little bit into the trail, the transitions are there for us. They're a little bit less obvious, they're a little bit less uniform, and now we're back on our trail bikes with the suspension. The suspension is going to help us actually, if our timing's a little bit out, then we can make sure that the suspension giving is just going to help us shape those transitions and work the pumps effectively, even if we're a little bit out on our timing.
So back onto the natural trails, as Richard said, it's all about finding that flow. With the big bike and a bit more room to operate, you can start to feel that as you come through. You might not hit every transition, but going back to what we were working on at the pump track with looking through, breathing, relaxing, finding those top, middle, bottoms as you pump through the trail, you'll start to get smoother and smoother, and the trail works for you rather than against you. Don't forget those little pushes through, don't forget to follow through on those pushes. That all helps to keep it nice and smooth, keep you concentrating ahead and really find that flow on the trail.
Sometimes some riders will find some of the transitions a really good, smooth rider, they'll be eking out every one. And the great thing about when you start working the pump is that the trail, you slowly discover more and more transitions to work with, and you can play with the different lines on the trail and find that golden thread that we talked about in previous articles that's going to give you maximum output for as little input as you can possibly get away with. Not a big fan of pedaling all the time, so pumping for me is a great fun thing to do, save some energy and carry some speed. So the downslope compression, easy to find, easy to feel and easy to identify and take advantage of. Out on the trails though, perhaps the pump's going to come into its own is when we've got short, sharp, steep upslopes. If you're relying on pedal power to get up those, just as your wheels crest, the back wheel crests a lip, it can be easy as you push down on the pedal to lose traction. If we can pump hard up those upslopes and avoid the need to pedal, we can keep the traction nice and strong, we don't get that moment of wheel spin as we crest, and we're going to get a more fluid ride. If you do get a bit of a wheel spin, it's easy then to get pushed as your body mass starts to overtake the bike, and rather than pushing through the bike and keeping the bike as accelerating mass, we get that moment of slipping forward. And if you get it bad enough, you always drive your knee into your shifters or your groin into your stem, neither of which can be considered one of life's little pleasures.
So linking these transitions on the up and down slope, the vertical into the horizontal, means that we can really start to use the trail to our advantage. This section here looks very much like the pump track, feels a little bit like the pump track to ride, and so getting all of these transitions to work enables us to carry speed. Here with this corner, again we can pump into the corner and then out of the corner to carry all of that speed through, and again looking ahead, thinking ahead and breathing really keep this trail nice and smooth and enable you to carry that flow.
So here with this little upslope, in good conditions you're going to have tractions to pedal up it, but it's going to spoil your flow a little bit. In worse conditions, when it gets a bit slippery at the top there, you're more likely to lose your traction and get some wheel spin and lose a lot of flow. But if we can use pump, that's not going to rely on tension on the chain and torque on the back wheel, and therefore anything in the way of slip, and we can just pump our way up and over. So as Ian comes into this section carrying a bit of speed, pumps the downslope as we come in, there's a small transition here, you can work this corner and upslope, two types of transition kind of melded into one, and you can really get some pump up that slope, up and over, without pedaling, without a pedal stroke, in a good strong position, staying in the pocket, heels and wrists set down, and pump the downslope the other side and carry some good old speed through this section. So by using a little double pump here, in fact probably three little pumps here, up, over, smoothly away, no loss of traction, good flow, keeps the body position set, nice position to ride through the trail, nice low energy in terms of input but high energy in terms of output and carrying that speed. So on a machine built trail with some undulations that have been built into the track, we can find those pumps nearly as easily on the pump track. They're a little bit harder to eke out, but certainly they're there to be found and used. Energy in the trail can be released and drive the bike, and we can carry some good old speed through these sections. But let's head out now to some more natural trail, a little less crafted, where those transitions are going to be slightly more hidden, harder to find, harder to work because of the shape of them is a bit more abrupt, but we can still work them, use them to carry speed, whether it be up, down or sideways.